Oye! It's really hot. Make sure my zipper's zipped. I can't see anything because it's so bright out here. What can I say? I'm kind of having a hard time being myself. Especially if there's like other people around. Like if anyone was here right now, I'd be like, oh my god, hide. You know? But I'm exercising some of these key principles. And something that I remembered about myself today is how much I love running. So I kind of thought I would make this video just be like a little bit of me just like being myself in all of the quote weird ways. And I don't know, I kind of wish that I could share my moments with you, but I kind of understand that I can't. So like I almost wish I had somebody that can run as fast as me, that can keep up with me to kind of like show you. But like I decided instead that I'm just going to like abandon all my things and go for this like vigorous run. I have some other things I want to talk about, but let me get this out of my system for a little bit. I did already do some running. I'd like to do just a little bit more. I'm basically gonna run with all my might and then I'll run back, okay? You know, I remember a young Trina who loved running. But that's like all she would do. Because I remember being in high school and on the free time before school and after school and any in between that she got, Trina went running on the track. And then I'm not sure what happened. That all becomes like a blur, a blackout. I can't remember why or how, what happened. But what I'm learning now is that I had taken my breath for granted. I wasn't happy to be alive. I wasn't happy with my body, myself. And I wasn't doing anything to change it. Definitely trying to lose weight in my upper thighs, I would say. Or at least tone them up. There's definitely gonna be a guy running by soon. I know I'm not necessarily doing squats the right way. I also like to widen up. A lot of times I do that because like when I exercise I can feel it in certain areas, you know? So like for me, the wider my squat, the more I feel in other areas. But also in pro wrestling they teach us the hands thing. And then of course I learned that more in a private training with somebody. But in wrestling school, it's just non-stop squats. You know, Trina used to be more in this mind state because she thought, oh, I gotta be a model and I gotta be fit and fly. And now it's becoming more about feeling good and having a clear mind state. You know, I can't even lie, like past Trina, she would smoke weed all day, every day, just like there is not one time period you would see her where she's not on that substance. You know, apparently I had a lot of grief, a lot of anger, like a lot of codependency, you know? And then like I had taken like people, places, and things, or the razor blade, and shifted it to that, to plant medicine. And I'm not saying that like I hate it or that I'm done with it completely, you know? As much as like it's complicated, okay? Like what I'm angling at though is that I hope and my intention is to not be so needy on it, and like I'm not being a slave to my desires and my intentions and my own personal motivations. I'm attempting to disconnect myself and to recenter myself, to become one with the earth, okay? Thank you to whoever you are that bought these off my Amazon wish list. They have helped me so much, so much. The ground is really hot. I'm tempted to keep my sock on. Like, not fully sure which level I want to go here. I mean, the sock is still absorbing the same heat from the ground. Okay, maybe not the same heat. This is also, oh, actually that's my thinner sock. I have two different socks on right now. I'm actually dealing with a horrible leak at my house. So for those of you who are upset that I haven't created underwater content, it's actually because I kind of can't right now. Trust me, I would love to take a bath. I would just love to take a bath. Instead I'm having to shower as quickly as possible because it might be the septic tank. Basically every time I run the dishwasher, wash dishes, do laundry, or take a bath, sometimes even when I shower, underneath the toilet leaks water everywhere. So I use some, I want to say Ridix, I don't know, something like that, like a bacteria that gets put inside the drain. So I use 2 bottles of that. Like, let's just hope that Trina gets her bathtub back. And more than anything else, can we set an intention for Trina to have an even better house than what she has now? A house of her own that isn't somebody else's? A space for her to have, like, with, like, I want to be like paperwork, you know? Something that solidifies it and says, like, maybe like a year lease, or I don't know. I'm very open to these things. I just need the love and the space and like the prayers, the energies, if you will, just creating a space of intention so that Trina can go where she chooses. And like, I'm future forecasting for sure my dreams. Like, I see them in my head, what I would love to accomplish. So I hope I hope it comes soon. I guess that's where I'm at. You know, I just want it to happen now. And if you would like to assist with that, you know, being of financial assistance, of course, is the greatest way for you to be of service, for me to be moving ahead. And that way, if you actually have interest in being like part of my support network in that way, or maybe you just want to absorb what you can for free. Not that I necessarily have anything like really vital right now that I'm sharing, you know, other than my own personal truths. God, I want to confess. I have a confession. It's been hell. It's been awful trying to resist these urges, these habitual patterns, the automatic reactions. You know, every time I get upset, every time I'm not happy, I would run away and smoke. And now instead I'm learning additional ways of coping and a lot of you may know that I had stopped smoking before, but what you don't know is that I was actually commissioned to do so. Someone had offered me $5,000 to stop smoking for 6 months, and I actually made it 8 months. And I honestly, without their support, I don't think that I would have done it without that incentive. And however, having had that experience and like basically having like, you know, the $5,000 is no more, have been spent that, you know, rent, everything just adds up really quickly. But like, I'm really grateful for that person, even though like that was a form of like, you know, making me the submissive more than you might recognize, you know, even though they were doing me a favor. I mean, it's very complicated. It was not easy. And I just gotta say the positive note on that is where, if it wasn't for that experience, I don't think I would be able to be as mindful and dedicated to myself this time, now that like my own personal interest is there. And again, like, I'm not trying to like talk bad about anybody doing that. I'm not trying to encourage you not to do that. Just for me personally, I had learned some things about the frontal part of the brain, and just like I just from my own personal experience noticed that like I'm cloudy in the mind, or I'm not fully thinking straight, or like I don't feel like I have my whole brain there sometimes, you know. And sometimes like it's nice, you know, to like not be so thinking. But now I'm trying to basically clean up my thoughts and purify as much as I can in the body, in the spirit, and in the intentions, and in my creations, so that way I can have a better reality. And if I have a better reality, then like when I come into your reality, the reality can only be better, because my expectations and my allowances might be in more refined areas than you have accepted for yourself. Maybe you've given yourself permission to get intoxicated every weekend, and you tell yourself that that's okay for your liver and it's not so bad. And like obviously the body can handle many things, you know. I can go eat some like poison fruits right now and I'll live, you know. I mean, it's not necessarily saying that that's what's best for me, but like we're very strong individuals with our bodies. I find that to be most magical. But yeah, this is me like dealing with this stuff. This is just the way that I've chosen to deal with it. I came out to like a middle of nowhere nature trail that I enjoy. I'm sweating like crazy for sure. Like I can feel like my chest just like I'm just sticky. In some levels you could say that I'm not quite prepared for this. I'm actually here having I'm holding space at the house right now. I'm letting a friend and another friend come together, 2 females, and there's a guided meditation going on, a quantum healing hypnotherapy session. So I'm just like holding all these densities. I'm out here in nature, you know, giving them that space for me to find myself. I brought my journal. I'm supposed to be writing some stuff down, but I'm having a really hard time being with Trina. You know, that's that whole thing again. I'm having a hard time being with Trina, so I smoke. I have a hard time being with Trina, so I go out and I eat and I do this, you know, instead of just being with what's up, you know. And you know what's up because you keep stuffing it down. So that's what I'm going through. And like I'm kind of like suffocated and snuffed out because I'm not giving myself permission to go inside and to do those things. And I keep thinking that I need to smoke in order to go into those places of myself, which I know is false, but yet the ego keeps trying to tell me a horrible story. And that honestly, it's been a habitual response. So a lot of times I submit to my own ego, thinking that the narrative inside my head is correct when it is very clearly false. You know, I don't necessarily believe it to be like a drug as much as it can be considered as a medicine. However, but if you're using it to harm and to escape, of course it's a drug. You know, it's different. It depends on your intention, and my intention at this time is to basically become centered and to find peace and comfort within myself. And where I'm at right now is I feel like anger, aggression, and tension that I'm holding on to. And my consciousness has no understanding what it is. So the only way that it knows how to deal with it is to smoke. And then that creates a space that separates the judgment and the narrative and the connection to this. And it seems like the final conclusion is that only by being with this and this, like whatever's coming up, can I heal and integrate. And I mean, it's really hard for me when I don't really have that many people who are excessively like supportive of me ending my attachment to this, especially when they have their own attachments to it. So then, like, I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I'm just having a really hard time continuously being my own cheerleader and not really having that many people who are supportive of Trina finishing what she chooses to start. Like, something that I personally deal with is I'll tell people that I struggle with sugar or that I struggle with smoking, and then I'll tell them to their faces, and then they'll be the same ones that give me the sugar or give me the thing that I'm trying to avoid. No matter how many times I express to them that, like, I sincerely want this. In some levels it feels like an ultimate test, and in many ways it's not like there's any horrible repercussions, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure there could be some horrible repercussions, but I would like to think, fortunately, I'm not addicted to like painkillers, pills. I mean, but marijuana totally does count as a form of painkiller. We all know that in the medical community. And I do have some personal pains, like in my hip and sometimes in my ankle, but when I'm mindful, I can recognize and see that it's like really not that bad compared to how like other people have things. So something that I'm doing to really change this story, to change the story of Trina, is by being more happy, like to find a way to be okay with being out here doing nothing. Believe it or not, that's really hard for me to like do nothing. I constantly feel pressure that like I need to be making money, or like I'm not going to have a future if I don't take care of myself, or that this or that. And I'm a very independent woman. I refuse to marry someone to take care of me. Like, I don't want to. I choose not to. And anytime someone tries to manipulate me with finances, I'm immediately like gone. It's just not who I am, and I am not of this way. And I recognize where people top from the bottom all the time. I've been through that multiple times as well, so I can kind of sense that sometimes I can't lie though. Sometimes people definitely get me. I'm looking for my network, my people, my love, people who are interested in walking with me, no matter where I go or how I go, with or without that. You know what I mean? I want no judgments, full acceptance. But I also do seek someone who's going to, like, you know, push me and care about the outcome. But I'm not looking to be punished. So there seems to be like a lovely need to like equalize and balance these things. I love the freedom, and I gotta admit, even from like not smoking, like my head, very clearly, like I have some clouded head, like all up here. And I'm not interested in prescription drugs or doing anything other than maintaining my health. And the way I've been doing that personally is by exercising foods and noticing how I feel after I eat those foods. It's not easy for me. My inner kid wants to eat cookies and to do bad things and eat fast on the go things, always wants to go. And I'm having to basically recondition and retrain the self to say thanks and accept what is as is, instead of trying to change the self, instead of trying to manipulate the forces of nature. I'm just attempting to just be, and I notice my ability and my role in the present moment when it presents itself, and it's been quite fun exercising these things. The next challenge that I feel is Trina is struggling to keep going, to keep running. You know, in her mind, there's no reason to run. There's nowhere to go. There's no intention, and there's no certainty that me doing this vigorous workout right now is actually going to show any drastic changes in my body. And I'm not really doing it for that either, as much as I would like to see more definition, or like, I don't know. Just any reason to actually love Trina a little bit more would be helpful. And in order to do that, I believe that I need to create good stories about Trina. And not just stories that I want to believe about Trina. Like, she just has to be them. And by her being them, it just says who Trina is without Trina having to explain who she is and why she's here and what she's here to do. I gotta admit, the next thing that comes to mind is my intention for stopping smoking. Where I had hit the wall with this, the reason why this had come up is because I've been working on this shadow work video for a while. And the shadow work video is talking about how I take my breath for granted. And it was supposed to be an intention of saying like, wow, I really value my life now. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't understand that there was like an omnipresence or that there was a God. I didn't believe in anything bigger than me at all. I had no attachment, no connection, no understanding. And the desires weren't there either. And again, like the whole support network, like that's not there either. So, but now, as I start making this video or the writing that I'm working on to make a video into it, I'm recognizing that there are parts of Trina that she's still showing and expressing that she takes breath for granted, that she's not accepting what is as is, that she's judging, she's trying to change herself, she's trying to go do this, manipulate this force and do this and do that, instead of just finding joy. Then that's all that I'm supposed to do. I've been guided, is I'm supposed to just be in the moment and enjoy it, every single moment, even if it's awful, because the moment will never come back. I need to find ways to be in joy and to be in joy, to enjoy in the moment, to be there right now. And for me, like, I'm loving this sunshine. I can't lie. Like, the sun helps, definitely helps. The blood flow is definitely helping. And conscious breathing. Sometimes I catch myself not breathing, like literally just not breathing. I don't even know why. Like, I'm afraid to move forward ahead or something. Like, I'm afraid to take the next breath. It's like too much. It's a lot. And it's a lot to let things go. Like, there's a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of uncomfortableness. It's like, no, I can't let that go. No one can see that. But once I'm with it and I be with it and it like expresses itself and I let it go, like, it is so much better. I have felt a lot of guilt and shame and self-hatred, and I just, like, a lot of it wasn't of me. It was from something else. Somebody else told me that, like, don't do that if you don't get paid, or don't do this. Like, all those stories, you know, that chit-chatter that just gets so in the way of you. I'm just trying to get to know me again and, like, love me without, like, changing my face, without having to dress, like, super provocative. Like, I want to let go and step into me. And I'm looking for people to, like, love and nourish me and to support me financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, like, unconditionally. And I'd like to continue my path of owning my own business and doing only the things that I choose to do and choose to be of service. As you know, maybe, that Trina can be of service for multitudes of things. She's a mermaid, she's a fire breather, she can juggle, she's very mindful, she has a big heart, she's very sensitive and intuitive, and she enjoys doing readings, for those of you who aren't so afraid and weirded out by the I am that I am. I always make sure people know it's not me, it's God in me can. You know, sometimes when I'm channeling information, just like now, I can't really remember anything that I've really stated. You know, everything is kind of just divinely ordered, divinely made. I've had a pleasure making some of these videos for you. I'm working so hard to do this shadow work video, you guys. Like, the best way that I came up with is I'm going to use the webcam and to read from the computer. I mean, unless I set this up and read from the computer on the side, I mean, I really got to figure out what I'm doing, but I'm going to need those notes, and I don't really want to print them out. I'm not trying to read from a script either. I need you guys to know this is, like, extremely well thought out and planned, and, like, the intentions are there, but I'm having to, like, constantly regather myself, recenter myself, and refine who I am amongst all this, amongst all these pressures, amongst all these conditionings. And then there's some other pieces that I'm supposed to add into the video that I haven't gotten there, you know, and I'm really just struggling to put all the pieces together. And especially since I've created this the time limit for myself, that I want to do this by Mother's Day. Like, I'm tired of dragging this on. I understand that this is, like, what my purpose is going to be to continue these studies and to do this work of shadow work and helping people through their situations like I've been through. I'm sorry, I hear things. I'm clairaudient. It's just very clear to me that how can I be a healer and come to a healing space if I'm still using my same tools as weapons against myself, you know? Like, yes, marijuana can be used as a spiritual release and a healing process, but at the same time, it can also be used as a weapon to stop me from breathing. Like, I need to like get my lungs clean, and I know that this is only going to come from being like clean for a year. And I'm noticing though that it doesn't necessarily mean that like when I say clean for a whole year, it doesn't necessarily mean that like I don't smoke once. I mean, I know that for some people that is totally what that has to be, because they can't like not do it. It's very complicated, and I'm still integrating like all of those things, and it's kind of embarrassing. Some of it I just want to just accept that like Trina really likes to smoke and like she enjoys doing that, but I can tell like when I said that just now, like there's some truth in that that's not true. You know what I mean? Like Trina just wants to feel high, she wants to be happy, she wants to have full relaxation, no pressure, she wants her intuitive gifts to come with ease, and it'd be great to do that without substance. And just like finding that shift and that heart space within myself and giving myself permission to be there. Because what's happening is like there's all this stagnant energy that's coming up, and it wants to be processed, and I just don't know how to process it, so I keep wanting to run to do something instead of me actually talking to it and being with it. What I hear now is like conditions put upon the heart. Like where I told myself that I can't be myself, or that this part of me is wrong, and like I'm trying to remove these parts of me, when really like that's not true. Like that's not how it is. I am full, I am whole, I'm just like fine. There's like something that's causing me to run from me though, you know? And then when I run from me, I run from everybody else. Like I'm not really coming together with people. Nobody really wants to spend time with me, and they don't really know why. And to me, I know why. It's like the subconscious thing that like I don't like me and I'm not comfortable with me, and I'm trying to change me all the time. And I'm just trying to do this in a mindful state. And yeah, again, like it's kind of embarrassing, and it's not easy, and like yeah, I'm all alone. I'm all alone. Even though I have an amazing partner, Trina still is doing this work by herself, and nobody can come in and feel her feelings. Like, yeah, there's empaths and stuff, right? But like it just doesn't work that way. I need to be okay with me and how I feel, and to accept these things. But a lot of these things have to do with subconscious belief systems that I have to notice and watch when they express themselves. Like right now, I'm expressing the tension in my head, but I see, because I was so busy talking, I wasn't breathing. That alone has been an exercise, making myself breathe on purpose. My inner kid like doesn't understand anything, so it's tearing things apart. It's trying to change things and be all powerful. It thinks that it knows better. I'm just watching it. I know that it doesn't feel good, so I'm trying to have compassion to it. The energy that I just felt, it felt like a rib was given to me, like a bone was put in here, and like it was telling me that I had to be this way, to be like that bone, that genetic memory, instead of being aligned with myself and my own divine order. So I'm feeling like I gotta take out that wishbone. I mean, I'll admit, like, it's here. I feel like it's here because it's doing something good. Like, you gotta remember, they're always here because they're protecting it. They're doing something good. What I just felt and absorbed was like baby little girl Trina that didn't know any better, and then she was tossed a bone for her to like see differently. And now it's so much a part of my heart that like I don't want to forget that I made a mistake and that like I needed support and I needed a bone. So I feel like that's also why I turn to that other thing, you know, because it gives me like instant. It's like a cheat way of connecting to source, when really I need to connect to source in a more natural state that isn't necessary for that tool. But obviously, yes, you could say it was God-created tool. All the plants were given to us as medicine. We naturally have cannabinoids in our head. I'm aware of that too. I'm aware of all of these things. I'm just still exercising the devil in me, basically. The devil in me is the animal in me that wants to do things that I know aren't great for me, right? Right? We all know that smoking isn't good for us, but our animal part of us says, oh, let's smoke. Let's go do that right now. Or like, right? Or we seek instant gratification. Monkey mind. Even a monkey can use a tool. We have consciousness. We have the ability to think and process and to deal with all these data, all these integrations. But what are we doing with them, you know? Are we being mindful? Are we using them? Are we being conscious? Or are we just self-destructing and just not watching? And just how has it just become so commonly acceptable? We just look the other way whenever somebody drinks every night or whenever somebody smokes cigarettes nonstop. It's so much deeper, in my personal opinion. And I'm just working on healing. And I know that I can't help anybody through this until I learn to be able to be with it myself. And honestly, the mental discipline is the hardest because my head convinces me, my ego tells me all the time, it's okay, Trina, you made it till 6 o'clock, you can smoke now. You don't have to. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's not easy. And the fact that they're legalizing it, you know, everywhere, it's becoming more legalized, like it messes with your head too. But then it makes me feel like, do they want us all to have messed up heads and not be centered in our own hearts and be our own individual blueprint? Like, I struggle to understand the intention if they know that like it's not good for all of us. I mean, I see the use of medicines for sure, but I'm also like a person who doesn't want to be taking medication for every day of my life. I would like to find ways to be in joy and to be in the now. And I know that as I express this and I show that and I speak with my actions to the God, to the universe, to Mother Earth, that like it's only logical that the equal and opposite reaction that would come to me would be that present moment, that temptation as an opportunity to transcend past it and move on and to create a new integration of habitual responses that are of the highest order and what's best for me. I definitely would like to be out here more often, to be out in nature and to be more comfortable with myself and others. Most of all, being myself in front of other people. Maybe we could exercise, taking the tripod, going somewhere public and just like doing what we're doing now, you know? And I could just be talking nonsense, but it's about Trina just being okay talking in public and being herself without like needing to smoke before going in public and like things like that. I'm really exercising mentally and emotionally, and I'm getting things in sync. I just had a conspiracy theory that marijuana kills the ego. I mean, like, but that's not true, because at the same time when you smoke, at least for me, when I smoke and it wears off, like my ego attacks me 10 times worse. Whenever I'm not smoking, like depression, anxiety, anger, tenfolds for sure. Because I haven't learned how to deal with these things otherwise yet. Yeah, these are my personal struggles. How I'm working through them is breath. These new airs that are helping me be and integrate with these shadowy pressures that are inside me. The breath is one of the only things that's going to help me through. So I'm going to have to push down and resist these urges and not do them. And it's going to be hard. And like, I'm not saying I want people to tell me what to do either, you know? Frankly, I want people to financially support me no matter what. I want somebody, the type of person I want, I'll just create an example, okay? A cheesy example, okay? Like, of who I want and who I need, etc. The person is somebody who's going to give me $100, I'll say, okay? And if you're one of those people that are immediately saying, like, I'm not giving you anything, You're not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who wants to give everything that they have received. Someone who truly, like, is not selfish, is truly unconditionally loving, and not egotistically ran. Now, I'm not saying that I want someone who has their last $100 to give me that $100. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay, but I do need you to notice your mental awareness. So that's step number one. Now let's keep going. So this person that I want to give me $100, the next part about their character that's most important to me is that they're going to give me the $100 without conditions. They're not giving it to me because they want me to do something for them, or because they expect something in return, or that they want me to use the money to do this or that. You know what I mean? I am seeking someone, those people, team members, people, my spirit tribe, who are interested in investing and being a part of me and trusting me to do with the resources as I feel need. So if I feel I need to go buy this thing that may create harm long term but brings me a moment of like not taking myself out for a little bit longer, then I believe that you are to love me that much where you invest in me and you trust in me and you believe in me, you invest in me emotionally, energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, etc. And if you're not willing to give me that, how can you ever expect to receive that if you're not a person who's willing to give the very things that you are hungry for? If you can notice that all the times where you reject yourself and where you reject those experiences of being able to have the opportunity to help somebody else emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, especially when you have the means to, you will notice why your own character feels sad and degraded, because you know that you're not doing your part, you're not holding your role, you're not being responsible. You were given the gift of abundance so you could share and spread to every corner of darkness and bring it light. But if you don't recognize this gift, if you don't see the gift of life, then what good is the gift that I give you if you don't appreciate it? These people, they're coming up quickly. I just want to like have some alone time. I'm probably killing my phone battery. I probably should just journal instead of writing everything out to the internet, but this is what I'm going through. And yes, part of me is doing this because I hope that like you'll see me, you'll know me, you'll love me, you'll believe in me, you'll invest in me, and you'll help me continue this process. And I'd like to continue offering my services and being of 100% donation base. You know, I can only do that with your help and your support. I'm interested in going to school, but I'm not interested in debt ever again. I've had some really bad experiences with debt, and I'm personally choosing not to do that with school or anything else. And I'm hoping that my medical and everything else stays clean and square, although some things can be out of my control when I'm not in a mindful state, especially since I've been in such pain and I'm still masking and grieving and not really ready to deal with what's on my plate right now. Your assistance would be great, but I'm not going to beg and I'm not going to demand. But if your desire is there, then give me your hand, and I promise I won't refuse it. Even if you have $1, just $1 to serve. It's about the energetic intention, showing that you sincerely believe in me and you have hope. And by you making that investment shows the same like little symbol that you would like back. Lex to Linus, it's the law of retribution. This is physics, the law of attraction. Maybe we'll just move you over here. I'm tired and I'm hot and I'm sweaty and I'm thirsty and there's like all these bugs coming on me, and I just need to get more comfortable with being in my body and having the experience. And instead of talking about it and filming everything, like I need to just be it. And so I guess that's my cue to end this. Thank you for listening to my pains and my sufferings and my own personal stuff. I have a lot of self-rejection I'm working on, and some of that is symbolized in the marijuana thing. I might just have to use that tool instead as a weapon, but as like a way of getting closer with me. I mean, I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm just on this process of refinement and healing, and I'm just noticing all these things. And I'm just trying to clean up my act and clean up myself and get myself together. I'm grateful that I haven't had any other brutal addictions other than this self-harm smoking thing. It's depressing to have to accept that I don't accept me, or that I haven't accept me. And now I have to basically choose to accept me no matter what, no matter how I behave next, and know that I am actually doing what I actually choose and what I love and enjoy. And I think as long as I do that and I stay true to myself and my own nature, that I could be of the highest order. So I'm going to have to be mindful and to practice these practices constantly, and only through experience can I integrate and keep going. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to stop smoking weed forever, but what I will promise to myself is that I'm going to be excessively mindful about it and gentle with myself in my process. You know, you can't just have a habitual response of doing the same thing for years and then just cold turkey. I mean, I've done that before too. The last time I quit was absolutely cold turkey. But I'm on this intimate process of refinement. The person's coming now, so I figured maybe we'll just wait it out. Do some breaths. Good day.
What are you trying to look at?
Just my own process.
Oh.
Journaling, kind of, if you will, in a virtual way.
For school?
For myself.
For yourself?
Yeah. Like I'm hitting, like my name is Trina, so I would say like I'm hitting walls with Trina. And I'm like hashing things out with her. Yeah, like I'm not fully approving of all the ways that she thinks and bees. So I'm trying to like fix her.
Oh, okay.
But like by looking at myself and talking to myself,
cool.
Sometimes that helps me like see where I'm at, even if I'm telling myself a different story than what I'm witnessing.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm an artist.
Are you?
Yeah, professional. So I'm in a bunch of galleries downtown. So
Oh, cool.
I get that.
Yeah.
Because I look at a painting sometimes, and the painting talks back to me, and it's like, oh, you're doing this all wrong.
I'm kind of an artist of my own. I do psychic readings downtown.
Oh, do you?
But I'm sensitive. I work with multiple mediums. I'm clairaudient. I think you're clairaudient too, because how the painting talks to you. Yeah. I felt that vibe.
Yeah, it does. I do a bunch of them every year.
It's so healing, you know. It's all traumas. It goes to the nonverbal side of the brain. So when we do nonverbal expression.
Are you left-handed?
I'm not, but I juggle. I train myself to juggle, so I can use that.
There's a lot of artists and people like that are left-handed.
Are you left-handed?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's why I asked. So where's your place downtown?
I used to be at the Wolf's Museum of Mystery, if you know what that is. It's an old Victorian home. They actually closed down. I call myself a starving artist, or I'm 100% IFCOM.
All artists are starving. And you all don't IFCOM until you die.
It's forever IFCOM?
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, that's what I'm dealing with right now, and I'm just struggling, like, what are the other ways that I can be received, you know? Like, I'm wanting people to support my artwork without me having to always give them something. Is that fucked up?
Well, it isn't, because I have to give something away all the time.
But that's hard too, because yours are one of a kind, and they're very special.
Yes,
and
there's
people.
No prints or copies or anything.
Yeah.
If you go downtown, you'll see me at Butterfield Garage.
Okay.
You'll see me at Rembrandt's Gift Shop.
Okay.
Manatee Cafe.
Okay. What do you make? What's your inspiration? Are you
marine art.
I'm a mermaid for a living.
Yeah.
I work for like Ripley's and stuff like that.
And,
yeah. Interesting.
But I'm at Oldest City House Restaurant. You know where that is, next to Casa Monica?
I don't get out that much, to be honest.
How about Small Indulgent Spa?
No, but that sounds great.
That's a great place. It's right up near Dunkin' Donuts, up near the Carousel.
Okay.
I have 2 book paintings in there.
Okay.
And right now, for the whole month of May, if you get a chance, there's wine tasting tomorrow night from 5 to 7, but they're open every day of the week. I have 30 paintings displayed at Tim's Wine Market on the island for the whole month of May.
So, like, I gotta ask, like, what do? You just go to shop owners and be like, hey, I'm an artist, will you put my stuff in here? Like, how do you command your presence? Like, that's my thing.
I take artwork with me, or on my phone now it's pretty easy. You show them what you do.
Right.
And then most of the shops want a percentage, just like the gallery. So I'll go as high as 25%, unless it's a gallery situation.
All right, next question. How do you price yourself?
Really
I struggle
low.
with that self-worth.
I tried pricing myself high. I priced myself really low.
What's your most expensive piece?
$1,800.
Okay.
And at one time I had pieces up to $10,000. Now I've lowered them way down.
Yeah.
And I have pieces that have taken me 4 or 5 days to create that with a custom built frame I only charge $200 for. So literally, if I had to put a dollar wage on it, $2 an hour is what I make.
Yeah.
So you can't do the hourly comparison and money-wise. I mark pieces that I favor the best up the highest, and usually they're the slowest to go. But they do go because they're people can tell.
Yeah.
They can tell. And so if I have a piece that I think is exceptional, like I have one right now for $1,200 at a station. It's a blue crab with its claws out, and I have another one of 2 right whales in the ocean. Those are the 2 most expensive works there. But if you went to the gallery at Casa Monica and got a similar painting, it would be 10 times the amount I charge for it, and it wouldn't be framed.
Right.
So you ask me, how do you know it? I don't know. I don't know how you price yourself. I just want to. I go fishing. I'm retired. I was a boat captain for 40 years. So I've never had an art lesson, but I sketched my whole life.
Yeah.
So when I decided to do this, I told my wife, I said, I'm not doing this for money. There might not be any money, honey.
Yeah.
And basically,
It hasn't. It hasn't.
No, it's broken even. But I have to pay for my wall at the gallery. So between my galleries, I have $400 or $500 expense every month.
So you're just truly living your life, doing what you really enjoy, no matter the price.
No matter the price.
That's amazing.
No matter the price.
Okay, so how about this? Trina's struggling with, like, I'm struggling to refine what I enjoy.
Oh.
And if I could be more honest, I would say that, like, I have a bad habit where I'm smoking weed all the time. And I'm trying to get off of that. Here,
My daughter does that